have to talk. Okay. I guess I'm a little confused why we still have this insane tipping culture in America. And I'm not talking about you went with your boo and let's say y'all spent $60, okay? Total. And then you go and give them a $5 tip. Apparently, you can't do that anymore. Not without someone getting all up on you. Okay. Like, for example, I remember this post went viral. People were talking about it, and it was just like, what the heck is this? Okay. And it should be put up on the side. So it says if you can't tip your server, simply don't go out to eat. Right? Because you cheap and you broke, right? Your bill is $107.53. You move the decimal point over one, okay, which would now make it $10.75. Then times that by three. Why are we timesing it by three? I don't know. Making it $32.75. Final total is $137.75. You are now paying 30 some dollars more. I guess I'm a little confused. Why are we paying you $30? I mean, what are you doing? I can even go ahead and use my many experiences that I've had at Longhorn. And this ain't the only place, but it's just okay. So a lot of the times I will go ahead and just order online. By the time I get there, I may have to wait like 5 minutes, or sometimes it's ready right then and there. So I'm like, cool. So that's what I would typically do. And I have the food ordered. I'm not one of those people that like to sit in my car. I do not roll up on me. I'd rather just go into the restaurant. So I go into the restaurant, way at the bar. Yo, it's for Alex. Give him my first and my last name. They go and give me the thing because now they changed it where they have a designated to go person. So then that person gives me the food and then it says, oh, do you want a tip? What am I tipping for? Okay, so the food that was made, you didn't make the food. You didn't actually put the food, because they say, oh, well, we bag it up. But you didn't put the food into the containers. That would be the cooks that put the food into the containers. And they put the little tickets on there, and this is that order. You just put it into a bag. You walked over to me, and this is no shade. I'm just being real. You just put it into a bag. You walked over to me, and then you handed it to me, and I already paid online too. So, once they, get the receipt or whatever, they scan it or however they do it. I already paid online. So my card, I use my PayPal. I always get a notification like, boom, it went through. And then I'm like, okay, cool. I already know that they charged it. Like I put it into the system, then they charge it once they hand me my food. Okay. I'm like, okay, they charged it. And then they want a tip. What are we tipping for? Like, that's something I don't get. Like, what are we tipping for? You didn't do anything. Handing me a bag? Now you may say, oh, well, Alex, you asked for extra sauce but you're handing me a bag. Like, it's one thing if you took my order. And even that, taking an order, I just don't see how that's worth a tip. Because when I was younger, we used to, like, when we would go out, okay? When we would go out, I mean, they would get tips, but it was for good service. I mean, at the least, they'll give them like a $2 tip if the person wasn't all that, because we've had quite a few rude people. Okay. But if it's like you were decent, they'll give you like a $5 tip. But my family, we weren't giving you, and we weren't one of those families that got 5 people at a table and you over here leaving a whole mess all over the place. So we weren't doing that. But that was the thing, that we weren't giving you $20, $30, $50 for a tip to hand us food and napkins and water. Like, that just was not what we would do. So one thing that I'm noticing, and I've been noticing it more and more, is that yes, you are getting paid less than the minimum wage in a lot of places. Okay. So I get that. But at the end of the day, like, tips are for good service. That's what I was raised as, raised to know, is that they're for good service. They're for exceptional service. Tips are not for, Oh, well, but I'm broke. Well, I'm broke too. And it's like people then say like, "Well, don't eat out." That's actually what I am planning on doing. It's gonna be hard, but I am planning on doing that. I don't want to eat out until my birthday. My birthday is in August, so yeah, okay. I don't want to eat out until my birthday, so that's the plan. It's gonna be hard because I love eating out, but I'm just gonna, it's for my budget, okay? Less calories, and I'm just gonna try to just cook as much stuff as I can at the house. It's just cheaper anyways. But that's the thing, and it's like, why is it that you say, oh well, if you don't want tip, then you don't need, do y'all tip everywhere y'all go? Y'all gonna get that Big Mac with them large fries and y'all tip? Because I don't see anybody tip. Okay. Y'all tipping baristas for just making a coffee? Do y'all tip the people at Sufco? Loaves? Do y'all tip any of those cashiers that work in the gas stations? No, we don't tip them. Do we tip the people that are working in the grocery store as the cashier or in that business area that they have? No, we don't tip any of those people. But we tipping everybody else. Everyone else deserves a tip. So it's like we pick and choose who we're tipping, but it's mandatory. Chad, let's go ahead and take a look at this video because people were mad at her. Let's take a look at it.
He said that if I don't give a tip, I'm not welcome here anymore. We only make like $2 an hour. We work depends on tips. But you can't force anybody to give a tip. Well, then I cannot. Yeah. I'm not going to service you because why am I here to bring you food? That should be your manager. I mean, no, you work. We work you. I mean, but that's your manager. So I just come back. No, don't come back here anymore. Do not come back here. Okay. I'm glad that you said that. Mm-hmm. This is Grand Bistro. Yeah, you're so pretty and you fucking eating your tip. That's horrible. I mean, you can't force me to tip. You are choosing to work for $2 an hour. I'm not forcing you to serve. I'm not forcing you to serve me. I'm not forcing you to serve me. You're choosing to work here for $2 an hour. That has nothing to do with me. That doesn't have anything to do with me. Okay, please go somewhere else. And great, and you are being put on TikTok so that you can know. Yeah. I know. Yeah, don't worry about it. I don't have to worry about it. Go. Thank you. Why in the fuck? I'm signing the check. The fucking manager comes up to me and he's like, are you gonna tip? Excuse me? First of all, rude as hell. Second of all, he was like, well, was the service and the food good? I was like, yeah, it was fine. Like, and he's like, well, if the service and the food is well and you don't tip, then you can't ever come back here. Excuse the fuck out of me. Now I'm not giving you shit because who the fuck are you to come up to me and tell me what I should and shouldn't be doing? The fuck? I don't have to do shit. And they were like, well, you can get out. You're forcing me to feed you. You're forcing me to bring you food and you don't want to tip me. I'm not forcing you to do shit. You choose to work here. If you have a problem getting paid $2 a fucking hour, you need to go find you another motherfucking job. The fuck are you harassing customers for tips? And you're too pretty to not tip. I don't give a fuck. I don't owe you shit. And then what pissed me off is when a manager approached me, he didn't approach me respectfully. He approached me rude as hell. He approached me with an attitude. And to me, if you know that you're paying your workers $2 an hour, there should be gratuity or there should be a mandatory tip. And then both of those signs should be posted so that when people come in, they know that there's a mandatory tip. Not walk up to people and be harassing them for tips. And bitch, I don't want to come back here again. I don't have to worry about coming back here again. But the fact that you feel entitled to what's in my pockets is crazy. I don't have to give you shit. I don't owe you shit. And it's crazy to me that instead of you being mad at the motherfucker that you're working for, you're going to be mad at me as the customer. And what makes it so bad is when a lady hopped her ass out of bed this morning, she knew that she was going to be working for $2 an hour. And had the manager came up to me respectfully, I would have gave a tip. But what you're not finna do is think that you finna bully me. Fuck you in this restaurant.
Now, I'm gonna be real. I'm on her side with that. Now, you do have some restaurants that do put in the mandatory gratuity. But my thing is this, they don't always make it known. Now, there are some restaurants that they will make it known. Okay, let's say you have a party of 7. Okay, we will add it, and they'll put it on the little menu all the way down at the bottom, so you could be aware. Like, okay, so they're gonna charge some money. Okay, but here, like she said, you're not gonna come up to me and be like, "Oh, well, the service was good and everything. Where's my money? Where's the tip?" And I'm not, one of those people like, "Oh, well, pick better jobs." But I mean, if you're only getting paid $2 an hour, that's the manager's job to go and pay you. And I was reading somewhere, someone actually made a comment under this post, under this video, and they were saying that essentially, if the person doesn't make like that minimum wage requirement, what let's say it's 4.25 per hour, essentially, then the manager has to pay that difference. But to me, that's the thing. And it's like, you're coming up to people saying, "Oh, well, you need to give me that money. You need to give me that tip." Like, what is this? This is a restaurant, y'all. Is it not? Oh, I'm forced to over here serve you. In all realness, have the chef, and I would do it. Okay, as long as we can do it. Go ahead and have the chef cook the food, put it on the plate. You go in, you know how Red Lobster, I don't know if they still do it, but how they have like those little square little things, and when your order's ready, it beeps and it like buzzes and whatnot, turns red and all that. That's what you need. Give me that so I know I can go up there and just grab my food. And then when I'm done, I'm done. I could go ahead like a buffet. When I'm done, I could go ahead and put the dirty dishes where the dirty dishes need to go. And then like we got this one place in my hometown, Gojo's. I take that receipt and I walk up to the counter and I go ahead and pay. I think the point may be like that too. But anyways, I know Gojo's is like that. So that's what I don't mind doing that. I'll go ahead, grab my food from over there, come back over here, serve it like buffet style, essentially. My food is, my plate is dirty. I go ahead and put it in the dirty place. I get my receipt. Okay, because all you got to do, and you could go ahead and have those little tablets too. I'm perfectly fine with that. I go ahead, have like a little kiosk, have the little tablets, go and fill out whatever I got to fill out. Okay, this is my order, and I grab my little thing. And y'all ain't got to do anything. Y'all don't have to do anything. Y'all could just stay right there. You don't have to come up to me. All you got to do is, okay, receipt. Oh, yeah, here's your receipt, so you could go and, get your little thing or whatever. I'm perfectly fine with that if that's how we doing it. You over here harassing people when you should be taking that up with your manager. If no one works, everyone say, "Okay, nah, I'm good. Nah, I'm good." And you got some bartenders that are making some good money. Good money. I'm talking about like a night. They could pull in $400 a night, $300 a night. Good money. Okay? And they work in, let's say, 7 hours. Let's just say. So it's like, I go and look at that and I'm like, okay, well, I think y'all pretty good. Oh, well, y'all got a tip still. I mean, because I need the money. Well, I need the money. You know what? That's cool. I'll just not come here. And that's the thing. Like, when I went to New York 3 years ago, which was so much fun, I need to go back. But anyways, when I went there 3 years ago, like we went to this one place. It was a grocery store, Uncle Giuseppe's. These New York people, I was loving them, okay? Because the moment we came in, and granted it's not a restaurant, but I'm finna get to that point. But we came in, first time being here, never been at Uncle Giuseppe's before. I'm looking around, I'm like, okay. Yeah, because I looked it up because I was like, okay, we were in an Airbnb. So I was like, okay, we need to go grocery shopping. And one person online, I seen this one place, and they were about the same distance away. I think Uncle G's was like 2 or 3 minutes further. And I was like, okay, well, let me go and look at this place. I looked at the reviews because I'm like, why not? They're here. I usually don't do that for grocery store, but I was like, they're here. And then someone went and said, yo, go to Uncle G's. I said, okay, we're going to go to Uncle G's then. So I went there and yo, Okay, the moment we come in, we're like, okay, cool. Let me go and see what we gonna get. We just need a few things. And immediately the guy, because they were cooking like fresh food. Okay, we ended up getting like um it was catfish, two catfish dinners, and I think it came with hush puppy or something. It was good though. But anyways, immediately, hey, and I was like, okay, but it wasn't like salesperson. You know what I mean? Even though he may be like, okay, but he was. But it wasn't like salesperson kind of greetings. It was kind of like, yo, you're part of the family, because he was just like, hey, we have this and that. And we were like, yo, first time here, like, I don't know what's on the menu. The first time here, whatnot. He could hear the accent, and he was like, "Okay." He's like, "Well, cool." And then he was, talking it up, yada yada yada, whatever, whatever. We're like, well, we'll go see. He's like, "Yo, the grocery store. If you're gonna go to the deli, that's gonna take a while. You go there, go over there and look over there. They got some nice sweets, and then you can end your day with me." And I was like, you know what I mean? But it was just the overall presence, the overall feel, the overall demeanor of this guy that made me be like, okay, cool. We end up, after everything was said and done, came back, ended our day at the grocery store with him. And there was no like tip us. I mean, there was no sign anywhere. And I think we ended up still tipping though. I want to say it was like $5, something like that. I think we ended up still tipping, if I'm not mistaken. But there was no like pressure. It was just, yo, we're selling food. You want some? You know what I mean? It was just really that. But there was no pressure for anything else. But it's the atmosphere, it's the environment, it's how you make people feel for them to want to tip you. Okay? Not you just being like, okay, well, I gave you your food, I gave you your napkins, I gave you that, and da da da. And, you can do that. And that's perfectly fine. I have no issue with that. And if I would decide to give you a $2, $3 tip, whatever. But don't be sitting up here expecting $25, $30 for a meal, as a tip for my meal. So for some reason, I ordered a salad, which you didn't make, or I ordered a tomahawk, which you also didn't make, for some reason the tip is different, even though the effort was the same. Chat. Let's go ahead and look at this other video.
For what?
So in this video, you just saw her. She walked over to the waters, grabbed the water, scanned the water. She's about to pay herself, not hand it to anyone, which, whatever. But then they're asking for a tip. I want to know, are people actually tipping for that? Because to me, that's not a tippable service. They didn't know. I mean, literally, it was a kiosk. I mean, literally, there was no one else there. It was literally a kiosk. But this is my point. In America, it's just a constant, we got to get money from you here. We got to get money from you here. We got to go and get that money. We got to get that money. We got to get that money. And it's like, but wait, hold up. What service are you providing for me? Let's go ahead and look at another guy who ain't even from the States.
I don't understand American tipping culture. So to my understanding, it is basically required to tip here. And I'm a bit confused about that because where I'm from in Germany, tipping is always optional. It's not required. So when you are required to pay 20% of your total bill in tip, let's say I'm eating a $50 meal, then 20% of that would be $10, right? And let's say I'm ordering a $200 meal, then 20% of that would be $40. But but the work that the waiter has is exactly the same. So why should I pay $40 instead of $10 tip just because I ordered a more expensive meal? I also find it weird. For example, in my hotel in Los Angeles a few weeks ago, there was like a little mini mart in the lobby area that was completely without staff. And I remember I chose some items, I scanned them myself, and then the screen showed me my total amount and there was a pop-up asking for a tip. And I was like, why should I tip this screen now for doing all the work myself? So that was very confusing. But yeah, since I am in America, I do as the locals do, so I am tipping here. I would just like to understand it. So if you're from America, please explain that in the comments.
There's nothing to understand. It's just greed. You have corporations and companies who overall do not want to go and pay their workers a livable wage. They do not want to even pay them. I mean, they don't even want to pay them a minimum wage, okay? The federal minimum wage, because they're tip workers. But at the end of the day, you're raking in what, millions of dollars. And people may say, oh, well, the restaurant industry, the profits aren't that much. So Starbucks isn't making a whole bunch of money and they're over here asking for tips. Come on now. Let's keep it real. You got a lot of companies who are out here. They have tons of money. They don't want to pay their workers what they should be paid. And they want to then say, okay, let's just pass that cost over to the customer and then blame the customer because they're cheap. No, it's you that's cheap. What are we talking about here? Y'all, I don't get it. It's too much. It's just too much that's going on. Anyways, let me know what you all think about this down below.